Hey folks, and welcome to the Week in Review. The first Week in Review, we actually have games to discuss. Couldn't be more excited about that. I took a couple weeks off. My apologies. The birth of my third child, who is now 3 weeks plus old, has been a little bit taxing, so I haven't had the time I usually would, and I'm tired. But I'm back, and I'm excited about it. Let's talk about MLB Pro Baseball. Before we get into the action on the field, let's talk really quickly about some of the stuff that happened off the field, particularly with some of the signings, I guess would be the place to start. Now, there wasn't a ton of moves. You could argue that there was a lot of people getting cut off their 40-man and people being moved here and there. But the real only thing to talk about, unless I totally missed something, get rid of that. Unless I totally missed something, would be, I missed two. So there's two things to talk about, right? So let's start in the American League. And they're both in the American League anyway. Let's talk about the Twins, right? The Twins are a team that Anonymous GM and I discussed a little bit at length, talking about what they were going to be and what they should be and what they should be trying to be and all kinds of stuff. Well, they went out and they signed Carlos Romero, the best catcher that hit the free agent market in the history of the league, to my knowledge. The guy is very, very talented, right? In 100 games, he almost posted a 2 WAR at 12 home runs at 280 with 345 OBP last year in Pittsburgh. I was surprised they didn't bring him back to Pittsburgh, but that surprise sort of dwindles when you start to look at who they typically have behind the dish, and that's Devin Mesoraco, right? Now, he's older, but he's a very good ball player. He's still under contract for another couple of years to the tune of $14.5 million. So they couldn't really afford to pay Mesoraco $14.5, and I think at the time, he was asking, Carlos Romero was asking for somewhere around that same number. So the Pittsburgh had to let him go. I don't remember him being dangled that much as a trade piece, but, again, he's out there. He's out there all offseason, finally signs right before the season starts. And Carlos Romero joins the Twins. Mind you, he joins the Twins as the oldest catcher on the team, on a team that already has two very good catchers in Chad Howard and Michael Perez, guys that have been with the Major League club for years, and they're both good defensively, they're both good offensively. To me, this is a signing of opportunity for Rocky and the Twins. They saw a player out there who they could put on the roster at a position of scarcity in the league, and now they've got three pieces, right? They can move Howard or Perez if they want to throughout the year. They can hang on to all of them and DH somebody, although Gary Copeland pretty much fills up the DH spot. They can just sort of sit here, right? I think the Twins are in a good spot with this signing. I like Carlos Romero. He's a 1-year deal. My guess is one of these three guys gets flipped for something here at some point, but that is a piece of news. We're not supposed to give a ton of exposition here. The other one, which is a little more head-scratching to me, we think about his age, but when you start to look at his production, his ratings, his ability, there's absolutely no sign of decline. That's Anthony Rizzo, who signed for 5 years, $55 million out in Oakland, to be the first baseman for the Oakland A's. Again, a guy who is a very, very good ball player, who probably should have been dangled on the trade market last year by the Orioles GM that was not. Again, a guy coming onto a team that already had a very good player in that spot. Keon Barnum has bounced around a little bit between between Cleveland and Atlanta over the last couple of years. But he's a good ball player, right? Keon Barnum was, ironically, one of the major pieces in the trade that brought Walker Buehler from Miami to Atlanta. Walker Buehler, now his teammate in Oakland, as both have moved around a lot, and Keon Barnum has now been delegated to a backup role. It's not like Rizzo brings a different style. He's both left-handed batters on this team. They're both solid defensively, although Rizzo is significantly better defensively than Barnum is. They both hit right-handed pitching better than they hit left-handed pitching. So the question got raised when they signed him is, why would the A's sign Anthony Rizzo? Again, nobody is knocking that Anthony Rizzo is spectacular. It's just that it wasn't a position of need. I think, again, this is a sign of a team that is in a good spot with a good roster that just took the opportunity to sign another good player onto the team. They had the money available. They saw a guy who could help their team. Didn't try to outthink the room, and they signed him, right? So will Rizzo make the A's a better team overall for the next 5 years? Yeah, you have to think so, right? He's a very good ball player. He shores up that right side of the defense. He allows Barnum to come off the bench if you need somebody in a nice spot. So it gives you a very good pinch hitting player throughout the year. Again, it's injury protection, right? Juan Francisco's off to a great start. 6 home runs already through the first 4 games, but he's no spring chicken, right? So if he needs to come out of the lineup, out of the DH spot for a little while, you can put either one of these guys there. So those are the 2 signings, right? Those are the 2 signings we had here. Excuse me. That were noteworthy. Again, both signings with teams that did not need to make the signing, that did it from position of strength, did it with excess funds, and did it with a potential in Minnesota's move. I think did it with a potential eye on a move later on. In Oakland, I think they're taking every chance they can. They're seeing every potential half of a win or full win as a win as they try to chase down the Giants in the American League West. So I applaud both Rocky and Scott for not sitting back on their haunches and waiting for something to happen and just pushing the needle, right? I really, really like that. There's a lot of minor league moves that we could talk about, but I don't really want to get stuck on it, especially since I'm already at 6 minutes. Let's talk about the action on the field. Currently, we will run through this very quickly. The Blue Jays, Tigers, Mariners, Nationals, Cardinals, and Rockies are all leading their respective divisions with the 4 teams remaining without a loss, being the Colorado Rockies at 4-0 after a 4-game sweep of the Dodgers, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. The Nationals and the Marlins, both at 3-0 atop the National League East. The Nationals coming off of a 3-game sweep of the Mets, which is really, really impressive, and we'll get into that in a second. And the Marlins coming off of what did they just sweep? 3-game sweep of the Rays. All close games, less impressive. Not that the Rays aren't a fun team, but they're not supposed to be winning the National League East. And then sorry, who did I say? Oh, and the Mariners, right? We expected the Mariners to win. The Mariners have a legitimate shot to go 182-0 this year. They're absolutely ridiculous. Mark Baker's already got 3 home runs. Armando Cabanas is off to a spectacular start. They're 3-0 with the fact that 3 guys in this lineup are hitting 100 already. It's because Danny Hultzen, 1.13 ERA, Mark Appel, 1.69 ERA, and Justin Hooper didn't give up a run. So their top 3 guys did exactly what they were supposed to do as they swept the Giants 4-1, 2-1, 11-0. Again, not a real impressive team. They get a more challenging look at a team here as they take on the Chicago White Sox now, another American League contender who just lost 3 of 4 to the Angels. No harm there. God, it's a brutal start to a schedule for John Hodges. But what's interesting here, right, is that, again, let's not play Panic Baseball. I think maybe we'll do a podcast later this week. Let's Panic about the first week. But the Mets are 0-3, right? Did anybody expect the Mets to start 0-3? Nope. They're no panic yet. Matt Dendecker, no hits on the season. Josh Wilcox, a perennial MVP candidate. He's a Silver Slugger a couple of years. He won an MVP in 2018. He was an All-Star last year. He's hitting 154. Hasn't even done an RBI yet. Kyle Radatz, the bullpen he's only 5'9". The bullpen to starting rotation experiment was not great, right? In his first start, he went 3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 6 runs. No home runs, which is a good sign, but did walk 2. He had a 571 BABIP, which is not going to be sustainable, but man, not a great start for Radatz coming off an injury-riddled season, trying to convert to a starter. And Alberto Vega, who is just ridiculous, also got lit up. So with Vega, Lincecum, and Radatz are going to have all ERAs over 6 for the rest of the year? No. But if you're the Mets, you don't love starting this way. The good news for them is this division sucks, and they could lose the first 10 games and still come back and win the division by 20 games. But it's not what you were hoping to see, right? The Rockies, they're exactly what we were thinking for now. So anyway, god damn, Hideki Abe's hitting 588. So let's see, Felicio Roxa hitting 500. Sergio Barreda hitting 375. Thanks, Dodgers. 10 runs, 19 runs, 6 runs, 12 runs. The Rockies just put on a show against the Dodgers as they swept them in 4 games. Anyway, that's the week that was. The week that is our first full week of baseball. We will have a hell of a lot better picture. Still really early, so I wouldn't get too excited about it, but a much better picture of what this league really looks like next Monday. I will see you all then. Make some goddamn trades so I can have stuff to talk about.